Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. This is Jessica here, and today I'm going to be doing a reading that is unlike any other reading that I've ever done before. But you know how shower thoughts go. I just had this thought while I was taking a shower and connecting with my spirit guides. So here we go. Um, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do, but they want me to group stones into 3 groups and just read the stones, um, read the energy of the stones. And if I need to pull a card at the end, I will, but I don't. But they say I don't need to have any cards for this reading. But first, they want me to pull out a big stone for each pile. So we have some rose quartz here. We have a quartz candle. Okay, and we have some regular quartz. I'm getting attracted to all of the quartz here. And quartz is a great tool for purifying energy, cleansing energy, helping it flow through you. So if you want to stop here and pick your pile, feel free. Otherwise, I'm going to intuitively pick stones out of this box here. This is my rock box, and put them in each pile. So if you want to watch this part, feel free. Otherwise, the timestamps are located in the description. So for this middle one, I feel like this quartz, I want to say smoky quartz, but it has the little pieces of black tourmaline in it. Okay, I'm seeing this green here. Oh no. Alright, so I feel like that is all of the stones that I need for these readings. Now, I am not a crystal expert. I do not know what each piles mean based on a book definition. I don't even really know half of the names. But what I do know is the energy that the universe tells me in my head. So I'm going to follow that. So we have pile 1 here, pile 2, and pile 3. All right, if you clicked on pile 1, this is your reading. So immediately while I'm looking at this pile, I see a flame coming out of the top. This is called a candle quartz, but I feel like it's talking about your inner light, your inner passion, your inner fire. And I feel like that's what we're going to be talking about today. I see we have some citrine and this red. They're telling me it's garnet. I am not sure. But I do know that the colors correspond, the colors of the chakras correspond with the colors of the crystals. And red is really good for grounding and feeling connected to the earth. So you must be feeling detached. Maybe you feel like you're floating through life all the time and just going with the flow, but you don't always have to go with the flow. Sometimes you can take a stand for your own energy, for your own fate, for your own destiny. And with the orange, though, this orange, is it calcite? Possibly. Feel free to tell me in the comments if you know these crystals and I don't know them correctly, because I definitely need to learn, and I'm open to any knowledge or insights that you guys may have. But with this one, I feel like you're afraid of your reality that you want to happen to actually come to the forefront. I feel like you are afraid that it might be like, is it too good to be true? Interesting. I see this crystal as the shape of a shoe. Like, put your best foot forward. This could be what you've been doing. They gave me what goes around comes around. So all of the healing and love and energy that you've been, the work that you've been putting forth to put your best foot out there into the world is recognized by the universe, and they want you to just keep going. But this fear is evident, and you need to ground yourself so that you recognize what is realistic to be afraid of and what you just don't have any control over, so you can use optimism to fill that hole, or hope to fill that gap. Okay, they're showing me there's a light. Like, I scry outside when I do these readings, and in my reflection of my window, I can see a light. The light's reflecting off of something in my window and then coming back at me. I feel like there's this illusion that you can't quite put your finger on. You can't quite figure out what is holding you back. Or maybe there's like, you know that the path is going to come to a point where you need to either pick this path or this path, but you haven't gotten there yet. So you're like maybe afraid of that coming. But the light, it looks like two straight lines. So it feels like the paths are running parallel to each other. Maybe you can continue on this way, and both parties or both paths will be able to just mold into one, and you won't have to make a choice. And then they're bringing me back to this, the fire coming out of this candle. And I feel like the foundation of trust, it needs to come from your heart. And this isn't an easy thing to do. And we do have the rose quartz here, which the pink has to do with the heart chakra, but also the pink has to do with the ears chakra, for listening. Are you listening to your heart? Are you listening to those around you that your life affects? I just keep seeing the heart. The heart chakra, once you unblock that chakra, is going to be the thing that creates that flame. I have this citrine, I want to say here, and I imagine it like it is the flame that is coming out of this quartz. It could be when you feel safe with what you want in life, that these paths will meld together. I feel like both paths are pulling at your heartstrings, and it makes you take a step back, because you don't see right now how both of these things can live in the same situation. For example, I'm getting like a beta tank, Like if you have a betta fish, especially a male betta fish, they don't like other male betta fishes in um, that same tank as them. They often can get along with the female ones if it's just those two. And I do currently have a female betta in a tank with a bunch of little neon tetras, and they kind of mind their own business. The little neon tetras like to be in a school and on the bottomish middle of the tank, whereas the betta likes to be at the top of the tank and it has its own spot in there. So I feel like you are worried that there's going to be some kind of negative energy that comes up out of this. Maybe this has happened in the past and you're just afraid that it's going to happen again. But I feel like both parties or both paths are going to keep going on their own path, keep living in their own situation, in their own corner of the tank. And eventually it's just going to meld together and work in tandem, work happily next to each other, and support each other somehow. I'm feeling like there is a broken branch. So I'm seeing maybe like you were on this path and in the past you were ready to go off this way, but it didn't work and your branch broke. And so you had to start a new leaf coming out of that branch, and you had to start a new path that you hadn't even imagined before. And this path wasn't the way that you had planned. You planned for things to work out a lot more easily than they have. And maybe you've been on this path for a lot longer than you were expecting. I feel like I've already said that at some point here. So it must be confirmation that you have been on this path for a lot longer than you expect. But with the crystals here, they're saying to reground yourself and truly ground yourself. Not just temporarily ground yourself, but truly like lay outside on the grass, walk around on the bare feet in the grass, go on a hike, and genuinely ground yourself. Do not worry about your phone. Do not listen to anything except nature sounds. Just get into that zone of just being, because it's going to make you feel a lot more comfortable in your own skin, which in turn is going to remind you that you can do anything that you put your heart into, that you put your mind into. And you have been dealt this difficult hand so that you can handle life on this new level that almost might seem effortless to some people. I'm getting the message that you pay attention to what you can work with, what you can fix, what you can do. And if it's out of your control, you just set it on the back burner until a time comes where you recognize that you can do something about it. I think that you want to see the world, you want to get out there and do things, and you feel like you're trapped in this fish tank with these same fish all the time. But the universe is saying that it's not forever. You were put in these conditions to grow. You were put between a rock and a hard place to recognize what difficulty truly is. And once you get out of that difficulty, you feel like nothing can stop you, that you're on top of the world and you're finally in control. Maybe when you were going on that original path that broke off, that was your goal. Your goal was to learn how to be in control of your life and be financially responsible, physically responsible for a child. Maybe that's what triggered it, was you needed to take care of a child, so you needed to be a responsible adult, be someone that they want to look up to, that they And you want to turn this tiny person into someone who's going to do great things and be responsible when they get older and be able to take care of themselves. Good for you if that's what you're doing. And we need to come full circle and realize when that branch broke, it was because we asked for it. And we might not have realized all the dedication and work that went into becoming this new person, but when the branch broke, when the path didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to, it was all so that you could get to this point that you're at today. If you were never in this difficult situation, you'd have never had a reason to change. You would have been comfortable. They're showing me now when you're sitting at the beach and you're near the shore, when the water's just going up to your feet and then coming out, everything's great. But when the tide comes in, you're going to be swallowed up by the ocean if you don't move. So the universe is saying, like, you can't be in that place forever. You can't. Things need to change. You need to change your position so that you can account for the different things that are going to come up and happen in your life. And these new leaves that you're growing, everything works in cycles. The leaf that you grew may be turning red and yellow by now and falling off. And a new leaf is going to take its place. Okay? So that is the end of the reading here. Remember to follow your heart. Get back in touch with what you want with your heart. Get back in touch with being by grounding yourself and feeling safe. And just try your best to be in this moment right now. Right now. Each moment passes us by. Try to be in this moment right now and just focus on that. I'm breathing, my heart's beating, I'm hydrated, I have the sun shining on my back or in my eyes, whichever direction you're in. And I am on the earth is protecting me. I am here now. Okay. I'm also getting the message that you may have some anxiety that grounding can deal with. If you float along too much, you need to ground yourself. So love and light, pile 1. I hope that this reading helped you out. It was pretty cool for me to just channel this message with the crystals and not have any cards. That's really awesome. So if you liked it and you resonated with it, let me know in the comments. This was me. The branch broke and I went on this new path today. This idea of reading the crystal energy instead of the card energy. Very cool. So again, love and light, pile 1. I hope you stick around for pile 2 and 3. There might be some good information in there for you. Pile 2, here we are. So you chose this big old chunk of rose quartz, and we have some green crystals here and some more quartz, and I want to say this is angelite or celestalite, whatever that is. But right now I'm going to focus on the energy that the crystals are giving me. So on this rose quartz here, there is a dot, like a black dot. I just need to pause for a moment to put my phone on the charger. Alright, I did not want my phone to die halfway through this reading. That would not be good. Alright, so back into this energy. I'm seeing this black dot on here, and I'm feeling like everything is the way that you were hoping. Everything is perfect except this one thing, or this couple things are speckling darkness into your life. And I feel like this is connected to the crown chakra. Like it has to do with your life purpose and being the person that you were meant to be, or feeling like you are 100% the person that you imagine that you want to be. But you're not there yet. And that's what's struggling, making you struggle. You're like, I've been working so hard for so long to follow this new way of being. I've worked hard. I'm seeing the star card in the tarot. So I've worked really hard to find my inner light, to listen to my inner knowing. And I thought things were going to be happening a lot faster than they were, but they're not. I kind of got similar vibes from pile 1, but it was a little bit different. I'm seeing like a woven basket look. I'm getting like things are unfolding, kind of like how like it's woven. You know what I mean? It could be that this is a destiny for you. Like I don't really understand what the word prophecy means. But it's like this was meant to happen to you because of reincarnation, because of past lives. You were meant to go through this rebirth. And I'm feeling like this rebirth is not just in this lifetime. It's like for many lifetimes, you've been in this stuck, stale energy. Maybe you've been stuck because of laws, because of relationships, because of situations. But in this lifetime, you're meant to reawaken on this level that you never have before. And that's why it's so difficult. Your ego could be like, I've changed my diet, I've changed my mindset, I've changed all these things about me. I'm not even recognizable to the person I used to be. I've transformed. I was a caterpillar, now I'm a butterfly. Why is this still not working out for me? Okay? And I'm seeing a dead leaf. And the universe is saying that this old version of you is still dying. And this new version of you is getting ready to bloom. So they just want you to stay dedicated to this new version of yourself that you are being impatient about. I totally understand. Like for me, I mean, I have 40 subscribers on this channel, which I'm so grateful about. Okay, but for many years, I felt like nobody would want to subscribe to me. And now that people have been, and I've actually been putting my videos out there, I'm impatient. I want that 40 to turn into 400. I want it to turn into 4,000 because I genuinely want to be giving this advice out to help people. But I'm impatient. It's not happening fast enough for me. Okay, and that's where they're saying the old version of you is dying off and the new version of you is getting ready to bloom. And there's this uncomfortable in-between phase here where you're learning to speak your truth and nothing but your truth. It could have been in the past you didn't realize what you were saying was actually affecting you, affecting your relationship with people. Maybe you were really sarcastic, and even though people knew you were joking, they might be like, do you ever say anything positive? It's like there's this air bubble that you need to pop, or maybe you were drowning. You felt like you were drowning, and that little bit of sarcasm was the only humor or happiness that you were able to put into your life. And it just happened to be at the expense of others. So with these green and blue stones here, I'm feeling like maybe you did put your true self out there when you were younger and it wasn't accepted, and now you're afraid that you're going to be judged, that people are going to hate what you have to say. Maybe you are worried they're going to take offense. But it's important that we tell our inner child it 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 doesn't have to be like that. Um, when we are kids in school, we get confused really easily. We're always experiencing new things, new ways of being, new ideas, and it gets so much that we're like, are we supposed to be like this? Are we supposed to be like that? I don't dress like them. I don't look like them. What's wrong with me? But the truth is, nothing was wrong with you. You were so in tune with yourself and so unique that others may have not known how to handle it. Um, there's people. We are all one, and we are all we all do things that affect each other. For example, some kid wants to be a garbage man and he is happy being a garbage man, or a mailman, or a firefighter, or whatever, a doctor, whatever your dream is, that's who you need to be in the world so you can help people. Um, and oftentimes it's really easy to know what you want to do. There's kids in our class, I'm sure, in your class at school, that they just knew that this is what they wanted to be, and then now they're 20 or 30 years old and they're being it. They're just doing it. But then there might be people who have a different calling. We talked about it in the beginning of this reading, where it's like this fate, this prophecy, this destiny of your soul elevating in this lifetime, moving to this new version of awareness that you've never experienced before. And that's your life's mission, your life's blueprint. Right now we're in the season of Aquarius, and so this is about humanity and opening up and seeing new ways of being, but also having compassion for everyone, no matter what stage of their life that they're in. And so when you are moving up to this new way of being that no one's ever seen before, it's going to be weird. It's going to trigger those feelings from the past where you felt like you didn't fit in. But you're not supposed to fit in. You're supposed to stand out and make a difference in the world. And maybe you didn't know what you wanted to do back then because they didn't have these kind of jobs. It wasn't like back in the 90s and before, it wasn't always widely accepted to go to divination as a form of healing, as a form of enlightenment. But now we're at that point in humanity, and the universe said once again. So it seems like there has been other times in humanity when people have turned to this type of being, and they're giving me the early 1900s, like around the Depression, maybe that time, like the teens and 20s of the 1900s. And they're saying even before, but it seems like there's certain times in humanity that we need to really take this information and expand. And I think this reading is trying to make you understand that your heart is in the right place, that this is the right thing for you to do. And, I started learning about how to read energy, and I didn't even know I was an empath until like 2013, 2014. And now it is 2022, and it is more widely accepted. This way of being is more widely accepted than I ever imagined it would be. Back then I thought it was going to be super difficult for me to be accepted and get myself out there. And just in the past, say, almost 10 years, people have understood this with with COVID and everything, people started looking for ways of healing. And this is the, they're saying this is the modality that became apparent over social media at this time. Self-love, self-worth, self-recognition, acceptance, uniqueness, independence. They're saying with the jobs, people realize that they don't need to be tied down. They can create their own job. In our economy, you're allowed, in the United States economy, you are allowed to start your own business and do all of the things. So I feel like that is a really important message that you guys need to hear, and that your heart is in the right place, and you need to feel safe with what you feel like you can bring to the world. And if you're not there just yet, they're saying read a book on the topic, do more research on the topic, answer your unanswered questions, because that's going to create new growth. It's like, imagine a branch with leaves on it. Each time you answer a question, a new leaf forms. And once you answer 1,000 of your questions, you're going to have a pretty big tree. Okay, so don't let this new idea that you have, or this idea in your heart, don't let it wilt and die because you aren't nurturing it, you aren't watering it. Water that yearning in your heart by answering each question that you have. And listen to your intuition. If it's telling you to stop doing some kind of harmful behavior, because that substance or whatever you're doing could be hindering your progress in a way that you don't even realize. So that is your message, pile 2. I hope that this resonated with you and gave you courage, maybe answered some of your questions. I don't exactly remember everything that was said because I was channeling most of it. But if it resonated with you, please leave a heart in the comments so I know. And I also, the one thing I do remember from this reading is that you're a light worker who has a big mission here on earth, and that's why you're not like everyone else. So trust in your heart, in your heart's blueprint. Only you know the instructions to that blueprint. So it's important that you are listening to your inner self and not other people's blueprints, other people's opinions. All right? Love and light, never let anything hold you back from what your heart sings as true. Thank you for watching. Hello, pile 3. So in this reading, I'm going to be feeling the energy of the crystals and relaying it to you. So the first thing that I'm seeing is this clear quartz is like pointing towards me, and the way that I'm sitting is pointing towards my sacral chakra here. Okay, so I definitely feel like it's has to do with they're saying the word passion or ignition. I'm getting the feeling like you're looking out in the world for these answers. You're looking out and trying to find something to inspire you to be creative. But notice that something burned blew your candle out, and it stopped burning. Okay, that fire inside of you, and it took so long for you to realize that it blew out your fire. They're showing me this. This is a fossilized coral. They're saying that it fossilized, it crystallized, it calcified, and it's going to take some work to get that fire back on. It's not just going to be, flip the the lighter, and bam, the light's on. It's going to be a wick that is difficult to relight. And it's just because you need, I'm seeing an eagle, so you need a bird's eye view of this situation to ignite your passion again. And I feel like there's some type of regression that needs to happen, like you need to go back to the last time you felt passionate about this thing and think about it and relive it. And what was it? Maybe it was a few things. Write this down. Okay, grab a pen and a paper, pause this video so you don't forget. Okay, write down what stopped you, what put a stop to the momentum, what clogged up your energy and caused it to calcify, to become fossilized. Like a fossil is, I see it as it was alive and now it is just the outer shell of what used to be. Maybe you were very passionate about 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 20 different things in your life. And something or someone, a situation, whatever it was, came along and it burnt that joy right out of your sacral chakra here. It also has to do with sexuality. So it could be your love life, your physical love life, if you know what I mean. It could be accepting yourself for who you are in the gender realm of things. Like you were told you had to be someone that you're not. And that version of you that is old, or maybe it seems ancient. Maybe that's what we're getting a fossil in here for. It feels like it was 1,000,000 years ago. You haven't felt like yourself in 1,000,000 years. I know my 5-year-old would jump quickly to the million number. But our souls don't know time. I believe in reincarnation. And so if something happened to you in a past life that you never got over, it could still be affecting you to this day. So maybe it was 1,000,000 years ago. Who knows? But I'm feeling like you need to reconnect with that raw, animalistic instinct and the animalistic nature. Like I'm seeing a bug on my window right now, and he's like trying to get in, and he's going all over the place trying to get in, but he can't because there's an invisible wall in his way, the window. And I feel like that's you. Like you want to connect, but like there's this invisible wall that is stopping you. And I just saw the mailman. So it could be that like there's a message that your inner child or your old self is trying to portray, and you need to decode the message. And I'm getting the message that it's in your heart, it's in your energy, it's inside of you. Ah, yes, because I remember in the beginning I was talking about how you're looking outside of you for this confirmation for what you should do next, but you should be looking inside of you for what you should do next. They showed me this point here, and I touched it like it was going to poke me. Maybe you have some kind of fear that if you, like as they say, poke the bear, it's gonna come at you and retaliate or attack you or whatever. I'm getting the message that it's a fear. It's like that invisible wall that bug couldn't get by. That fear is what is stopping you from seeing this bird's eye view perspective that we talked about. This is a really old situation that you're talking about, and so many things had to happen to get you to that point, but you didn't give up. And so many things have happened to get you to this point that you're at now. And you need to recognize that you made it through. You were strong. I mean, how many years was this coral fossilized until it was brought into my world? You never know where you're going to end up. You just have to keep being authentically you. And there are people out there who will recognize this trait. But the authenticity and the uniqueness, it comes from within. I'm seeing the pointing, it's pointing at me. So it's pointing at you. If you're holding the phone, it should be pointing at you. Okay, so you are the unique. It's you. If you're looking for an idea, it will come from within you. And don't get so stuck on hoping that this idea is going to pop out of thin air. That's not what's going to happen. The universe is saying that you need to get into this playful, creative mode. That could be like I think I said a writer's block in the beginning, that creative block, that invisible wall. What are you saying about yourself? That you're not good enough? That you can't do this? That you're not as good as those other people? What are you saying? Recognize that. Are those beliefs limiting you from just doing whatever? I'm seeing like a huge canvas on the wall and someone's just throwing paint at it. That's like the least, that's like the painting that you have the least control over, because you're just throwing paint at the wall. You're wherever it lands, it lands. I mean, you might have a little bit of control over it, but at the end of the day, even with the paint pouring, where they put it in the cup and they choose what colors they want, they choose what design they want, but at the end of the day, the paint flows how it flows. And no matter how it ends up, it's always unique, it's always beautiful in its own way. And I feel like that's you. Whatever you're trying to do, just keep doing it in your own way, and it's going to be beautiful because no one has ever seen anything like it. That could be what's keeping you fearful, is that you're like, no one's ever done this before, no one's ever seen this before. What if I'm not accepted? Honey, there are people that will accept you for doing this amazing work, this unique work. People want to see things that they've never seen before. I normally don't bring this up, but back in the early 1900s, maybe the late 1800s, they had those traveling circuses where it was like people that with disfigurements or things that you've never seen before, like a woman with a mustache. You know what I mean? And those people, the quote unquote normal people, were so amazed and taken aback by those people who were different than them. In that case, they may have teased them, and it could have been a bad, toxic environment for those people that are different. And I'm getting the message that you could have had a past life where you were mocked for being unique. And that might be where this energy is coming from. But no longer. I mean, have you watched TikTok lately? Have you watched some of the nutso things that people put on there? The things that people say where you're like, huh? And still people watch those videos. People like those videos. Okay? So all you have to do is just keep going, and you will find your tribe. You will find the people who resonate with you because you're being true to yourself. If friend groups haven't worked out for you in the past, there's a good chance that you were showing them the version of yourself that you thought they'd accept, rather than the version of yourself who was honestly you. If you were friends with them and you were trying to be someone you're not, it's likely that it ended up just fizzling out because you ran out of energy, you ran out of steam being that person that you were not. Like the fire was blown out. That candle was blown out. But if you are yourself and unconditionally yourself, and the best version of yourself, that you will succeed. And you will find that group of friends that you are looking for. And you will be happy that you decided to just be yourself and be accepted for who you are. So I will just say this really quick thing about me. I didn't believe in anything. I would say when I was at my lowest point of uncertainty about religion or whatever, I said I was an agnostic. I believed agnostic theism. So I'm not 100% sure that I remember what that means, but it was essentially that I believed that there was a higher power, but I didn't necessarily believe that the Bible was the way. But I did believe in God and angels, which I still do today. And that rang true to me even when I didn't know what to believe. Okay, so that's something you can look into, when you were at your most uncertain point, what still resonated with you. And here I am today, connecting with spirit. And if I don't have a group of people who have my back in the future, the way I was talking about, if it, like in the past, I didn't always tell people that I had this ability. And so I was this fake version of myself. When I wanted to speak out about what a spirit was saying to me, I was afraid they were going to judge me, and so I never said it in that way. But in my new group of friends that I'm hoping to have soon in the future, in the next year or so, I'm not going to hide the fact that I can speak to spirit and that I can channel energy, because I want the people who are my true friends to truly be my friends for who I am. I don't want it to be on my physical appearance and how much money I make and whatnot. I want them to be friends with me because of this unconditional love and acceptance that is possible to find out there. So don't settle for less, pile 3. Settle for being authentically you. And it seems like your fire is going to come back again. And you're going to be able to get past this stuck calcification, prehistoric energy. Let me know in the comments, do you think humans and dinosaurs walked next to each other? I know they have that, there's like a fossil where there's like dinosaur tracks and human tracks next to each other. I like thinking about stuff like this. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think humans existed with the dinosaurs? I'm not sure. I will say I love science because it's like every other day we're learning something new about it. They're uncovering, I think they just uncovered like the biggest winged creature in, they're saying Scotland. It could be a different country, but somewhere over there in Europe. That's so cool. So yeah, random. But thank you, Pile 3, for watching. I hope that this reading helped you. I hope that you realize that you must be authentically you, or you're never going to be satisfied with that person that you're putting out there into the world. Love and light, Pile 3, bloom.